So listen, I've worked in every single copywriting niche known to man. Every single one of them. I've worked with clients like TikTok, Warner Brothers, Burger King, and the BBC. Not that kind of BBC. Yeah, the BBC. And here's the truth. 95% of these niches are useless if you want to make money as a copywriter. So if you can spend 10 or 15 minutes watching this YouTube video, I promise I'm going to save you thousands of hours of wasted time working with the wrong copywriting niches, because this is something that can absolutely sink you as a beginner. Most beginners don't make it because they just quit at a certain point, and most of the reason they quit is because they've been doing the wrong thing and they're not getting results. So if I can help you get results a lot faster, the chances of you quitting and stopping are a lot less. So give me 10 minutes here, promise it'll be worth your time. Now listen, don't get me wrong, there are people who make money with every different kind of niche as a copywriter, but you really want to make big money here. You're not talking about making like $50 and getting about 3 clients every 6 months. You want to make real money. So I'm just going to save you all of the wasted effort on working with these niches that there's actually no money in. So many people start businesses and work in niches where, yeah, it might look cool, but there's actually no money in it. Like, how many people do you know that started a clothing brand online selling these crappy printed clothes for like $50? Maybe you've even done this, so tough love if you have, and it didn't work out because it's not a fun, it's not an actual business that generates money. It's just a fun business you wanted to start. And let's be real here. What do I always say in these videos? Time is money, and you do not have time to waste right now. If you're watching this video, you don't have time to waste. Every single second that you waste doing the wrong thing is wasting your time, and every second of time is worth money. So by all means, if you have the perfect life situation right now and you're really happy with where you are, go ahead and quit. Don't bother watching this video, don't bother working with the right niches, but honestly, if you want to make money, you can't waste time on this stuff. So with that being said, let's go through and show you the 5 most profitable niches for copywriters in 2024. And I'm not going to bullshit you here. I'm not going to save the best one to last and try some retention hacks to get you to basically watch the end of this video. If you find it valuable and if you think this is worth your time, then you're going to watch the video anyway. So I'm just going to give you the most valuable stuff as it comes, and the entire video is going to be valuable. My time's worth money too. I'm not sitting here wasting my time telling you absolute bullshit. So before I get into the 5 niches, I have to set the playing field here and let you understand what makes a niche good or bad. So there are 3 things at play here. First of all, the niche has to actually be profitable, meaning the profit margins with whatever products or services your clients are going to sell need to be large. You can't be writing for companies who are making like 10 grand a month or something and they're only keeping 1 grand a month, because out of that 1k a month, they're not going to have much money to pay you as a copywriter. They need to have a really high margin or else be doing an absolutely insane volume of sales in order to be able to pay you a lot of money. It's simple math. You could be the best copywriter in the world, but if you're in a shit niche with no money in it, you're not going to make a lot of money. And the phrase, the rising tide lifts all boats, basically means that if you are in a market or a niche where there's a lot of money coming through, you can be shit at what you do but still make money because the market is so strong. So if you're a copywriter and you're a beginner especially, you want to get into the strongest market of all time here. You want to get into the best markets, and so that's why I'm going to show you these niches, because if you get into the wrong one, yeah, a good copywriter might be able to make good money in it, but a good copywriter could make 10 times more if he's in a better niche. The second question people always have about niches is, how specific should I go in my niche? And this is a good question, because you could be super broad and be like, hey, I work with fitness companies, and that's not specific enough to be like, okay, what type of fitness companies? You could work with e-commerce companies and just say, I work with e-com companies, but there are like millions of types of e-commerce companies, so this isn't really a good enough answer either. But you also can't go too far off the deep end where you're like, okay, I work with fitness trainers in the Dubai area that sell kettlebell fitness programs and they only specifically serve ketogenic diet people. You can't go too specific, because if you really think about it then with your outreach, you're trying to outreach to these people and there's probably like 15 coaches in the world who are that specific. So yeah, if you want to go that specific and you can put a lot of effort into the client acquisition, absolutely fine, but you probably don't know how to do that yet, so don't waste your time on it. So when you're choosing a niche, you don't want to go too specific or too broad, but what you can do, for example, is go for fitness trainers who teach the keto diet and do calisthenics workouts, and you could do that anywhere in the UK, anywhere in the US, and that means you're applying a couple of specific criteria to the people you want to work with, but you're not getting too specific and you're not too broad. This comes down to something called your total addressable market, and this is something I can talk about in another video, so leave a comment if you want to see that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is picking a niche that you actually care about or know something about. Please, for the love of God, don't just choose a niche because there's money in it and absolutely know nothing about it, because you realize you have to spend like 10 hours a day trying to research this niche or work in this niche. And if you don't give a shit about female beauty products, why would you do it? Like, why would you spend all your time doing that? There's female copywriters who could work with those types of people, but if you're more interested in fitness, for example, you would want to work with people in that niche. Let's start with number 5, the personal development and relationships niche. Now, it's no surprise on earth that one of the most broad problems that people have in their lives that would need to be solved by a product or service would be their relationships, their confidence, and their quality of life. And the best thing about this niche is that, I know I'm saying niche and niche a lot, and I'm not going to tell you when I'm going to say either, so just deal with it. But the best thing about this niche is that a broke or a rich person will have the same problem, maybe on a different scale, but a rich person could have all the money in the world, but their relationships with their family are terrible, or with their spouse could be terrible, and that means that they have a lot of money to spend on fixing that problem. The same goes with someone who's not making a lot of money, which is why the market for this is so insanely big, and that's why you see people like Tony Robbins or David Goggins or anyone with ins at the end of their name doing really, really well out of this niche. Actually, give me a minute. I'm going to type someone in here and see if this person also ends with ins. Mel Robbins. Yes, another one of these motivational speakers. Mel Robbins. So if your second name is Robbins, you're probably going to do quite well. Put up a picture of Mel Robbins on the screen, Dan. Put up a picture of Mel Robbins with a BBC on the screen. No, the right BBC. Okay, perfect. All right, let's move on. Okay, so if you're a copywriter and you want to work in this niche with so much money, I said niche again. So if you are a copywriter and you want to make money in this niche, you're probably someone who actually subscribes to some of the content here. You probably see David Goggins stuff. I've watched David Goggins. I've taken his book. It's great. It's helped me a lot. And so if I wanted to be a copywriter and work with people like that, I would already have a natural interest in this niche anyway. So I might work with somebody in this niche and be like, all right, yeah, I actually understand the pain points because I've been through them. Like, I've been through difficult times in my life and I've been able to overcome them. I can specifically point to the pain points I had. Like, let's say I used to be a bit overweight and I just ate too many KFCs, and basically what happened was I would go on a night out and I would wear a t-shirt and a shirt over the top of it to cover up my man boobs, and this is something that you could highlight in your copy and make sure that people understand, because if you can write that, and someone with man boobs who wears a shirt over the t-shirt, which is every guy who's overweight does the same thing, don't even lie about it, and if you could appeal to those in your copy, that could be like in the first couple of lines of your copy, they're going to be really hooked. So if you can write really well in that niche, people are going to see that and people are going to get a lot more sales and they're going to hire you more and you're going to make more money. So the big bucks are in mindset, meditation, sport, health and relationships, dating coaches, divorce attorneys, all these kind of people. There's so many people making money with either courses or coaching or one-to-one support, and if you can be a copywriter and write their VSLs or their sales pages or their Instagram content or their emails, you can make so much money. So if you need a niche to work with, this is a great one. Number 4, real estate. Real estate agents make money every single day, hand over fist, and you can help them do it. You can help real estate agents write descriptions for properties. Let's say I'm going to buy an apartment in Dubai. I'm going to click on that, look at some pictures, and probably read the description. And see if the description is really shit, I'm probably going to be instantly turned off, because I'm like, if I'm handing over this much money and this website couldn't even be bothered to hire a good copywriter and write some decent description, they are probably not going to take the time to clean that apartment. There's probably rats living in the apartment. So I don't want to live in a rat infested apartment, and neither do you, which is why real estate is a really good niche to work with as a copywriter, because you can write their descriptions, you can write their Instagram content. Again, you can write like sales emails. So maybe someone subscribes for real estate coaching or real estate updates on their local area. I want to buy properties in the local area. I need somebody to write something about it for. This is where you come in and make some fucking money. And if you can increase their conversions with your words, and you can prove that by having previous case studies, or if you don't know how to do it without case studies, there's a video on my channel. If you can do that, they will hire you. And real estate agents are the flashiest people of all time. You know they have money. I know they have money. They wear gilets like this. I wear these professional outfits for YouTube because I think it looks good and I think you respect it more. So instead of wearing like what I would probably rather wear, which is a Real Madrid jersey, I wear this shit. Anyway, number 3, the good old e-commerce niche. E-commerce is one of the best niches if you're a beginner copywriter because there's so many different forms of copy that will work here. Email flows are absolutely insane. This is where you could basically write a flow of emails that whenever a user signs up to a website, let's say you go on Nike.com and they're like, pop up 10% off if you sign up for our email list. You click yes. In the next 30 days, you're probably going to be sent a flow of like 10 different emails from Nike. And depending on whether you click on an email, you might be sent another email that's similar and said, hey, we saw that you clicked on this email and we wanted to offer you a special discount on the shorts you were looking at. So you can create email flows like this. If you learn email marketing and copywriting, ba-bam, then you can learn email copywriting and marketing. Why am I saying the same thing? Whenever you get good enough at copywriting and you generate real client results, you can actually take a percentage of the money that you generate for your clients. So let's say you're working with an e-commerce company. There are plenty of agencies out there right now, and I know students of mine who have gone off, taken my 6-figure freelancer program, made a ton of money, and what they do is they work with companies and they're like, okay, I just generated you an extra 50k in revenue with your e-com store. So what is going to happen is next month you're going to pay me 10% of the profit that you generate from your sales, and I'm going to write your email flows. And that's a win-win for the business owner because they're like, okay, all I have to do is pay this guy a commission on how much money I make, and the guy gets a commission off of all of the hard work of the business owner and all of the other elements of this business that are making it money. And so that's how you can really scale your income as a copywriter. So e-commerce niche, absolutely sick. Go for it. Number 2, the tech industry. So I've just looked up a really boring statistic that says the industry is expected to grow by 5.4% in 2024. I personally don't give a shit about that, and you probably don't either, but what that means is billions and billions more dollars are being poured into technology. People are spending a lot more money on tech, and that's where you can get your money out of. Specifically, if you can work with software as a service or SaaS companies, you can make a lot of money. The same goes for cybersecurity companies. Hey, you want to keep your passwords safe? Why don't you use our software? It's $50 a month. This is an email that was written by a copywriter, and we want you to buy our service. There is so much money in that because the margins are so huge. Tech can be literally made, like softwares are just profit generating machines because you put the money into it once and it generates money over a long period of time. And if you can write copy for these companies, they don't give a shit how much they pay you. They just want to make more money and they want someone to take that headache away. So this is why working with SaaS companies, even these AI companies, I've met people in Dubai recently who have AI companies and they have so much money to burn, it's insane. And finally, number 5, the money printing machine. This is what I call health and wellness. Now listen to me very closely. Every single human on earth wants to look and feel better. So that means every single person on earth has probably a million problems that they need to be solved, which they will buy products for. This is why these industries are so valuable. Again, boring statistic inbound. The US fitness industry alone is expected to be worth $434.74 billion by the end of 2028. That is a fucking tropic river of money that you can make. And I've written down some of the most profitable sub-niches in the health and wellness space for you in this video. I've gone to such lengths to actually write this down. So you can work with personal trainers. I know so many personal trainers who are generating so much cash. I've been to events where people are making like 20, 30, 40, 50 grand per month selling personal training services. You imagine if you've ever watched the show Succession, you are the personal trainer for Roman Roy in one of the first episodes where the guy basically just pays him to like rub his back. And you know for a fact that an absolute billionaire is going to pay you a fortune to do that. You also see people selling all of their products for like 2K, like their services. I pay a personal trainer for the last 2 years because it saves me a lot of effort and thinking in the gym. He just does all my work for me. So there's so much money working with personal trainers because they write Instagram content, they put up stories, they put up posts, they put up emails, they have sales pages, they have VSLs, they even might want you to write a sales script for them to take calls with potential clients. So there is a lot of work in personal trainer copywriting and you can make a lot of money from it. And these people will happily pay you because, again, their profit margins are huge. The second one I've written down here is fitness brands. So this goes for any e-commerce fitness brand. So we're kind of cheating here. We're going back to e-commerce, but you know, fitness brands works. Also, gyms. Gyms love to run ads on Facebook and Instagram to fill their gym. So if you can write those ads for them, write email sequences, write sales pages, you can get people to sign up for gyms with your copy and make a lot of money in the process. We also have nutrition products, which are like supplements. Oh my God, there's so much money in supplements. You think about that athletic greens that you always see on Joe Rogan and every other podcast. They sell basically vegetables in a powdered bag that are worth about $2 and they sell it for $97. That's an e-commerce company. And if you can write copy for a company like that or a supplement company where it's basically the same thing, the product costs about $3 and they make like $1,000 markup. It's insane. You can make so much money. And finally, you could write for fitness influencers or creators, and you're probably wondering, how do I do that? Well, you could write scripts for their YouTube or Instagram videos or their TikToks that would help them get more views. They would happily pay you for that. I would happily pay for people to help me write content for my YouTube channel, my Instagram page, because if it can help me make more content that helps the people that follow me, I will happily have someone go out and do research and be like, okay, people want more help with this, so I'm just going to pay them to write something about it, and then I can look at it and talk a little bit more about it on YouTube and expand on it. Now, I've given you all this value and gone this entire way in the video without plugging anything, so give me 2 seconds. I'll just let you know about our 6-figure freelancer program, where I mentioned we had students who came through that program and are making boatloads of money. They're living in Dubai, they're living in New York, they're living all over the world, and there are people who are in that program right now making money and you aren't. And there's so much information in there that we hold that we would love to put here on YouTube, but honestly, we have to run a YouTube business. Like, we have to be able to pay for the equipment and the lights here. So if you check that out, you have to apply for it in the description. You get to speak to me directly on Instagram and you can speak to me and apply. And if you're a good fit, I'll let you in. Finally, subscribe. I'm making videos for the next 50 days for copywriters. I am not in my usual setup today. I'm staying with a friend, so I just wanted to make some content and I set it up over here. But yeah, hopefully you like this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that shit. Bye bye bye. See ya in the next one.